I couldn't find my wife. It began like any other Saturday. The house was quiet, too quiet. The kind that usually meant she was scrolling on her phone or cleaning with her earbuds in. But this time, the silence felt wrong. The coffee pot was half full. Her mug untouched on the counter. Her car keys missing from the hook. I called her name once, twice, nothing.
Emma.
The word hung in the air like a question I already feared the answer to. We'd been married 7 years. The last 2 had felt heavy, like dragging a suitcase full of regret and pretending it was fine. We were distant, sure, but not gone. Not the kind of distant that made you wonder if she'd just vanish. She wasn't that type. Or at least I thought she wasn't. I checked the living room. Her throw blanket was there, her phone charger still plugged in, the small clutter of her life untouched. Everything looked normal, but somehow dead. I texted her anyway. Hey, where'd you go? No reply. I waited. Still nothing. Then I heard it. A faint noise upstairs. A soft thud. Quick, muffled. Then silence. My chest tightened. It came from our bedroom. For a moment, my brain scrambled for logic. Maybe she dropped something. Maybe she was rearranging the closet. Maybe. Then another sound. A laugh.
Low. Male.
The world stopped. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. Heat crawled up my neck as disbelief fought with truth.
No.
Emma wouldn't. Not her. My body moved before my thoughts caught up. Each step up the staircase felt like walking toward a confession I never asked for. I reached the door, hand trembling over the knob, my heart pounding so loud it drowned the silence. When I pushed it open, time shattered. There she was.
Emma.
Tangled in the sheets we'd shared for years. But she wasn't alone. The man beside her turned, his face a mixture of shock and shame, though not enough of it to matter. I didn't speak. Neither did she. For a heartbeat, all I could hear was my own breath, jagged and foreign. Every detail seared into my mind, her hair messy and damp on the pillow, his shirt on the floor, the scent in the room that wasn't mine. She grabbed the sheet, eyes wide. Evan, wait, please. But I couldn't. My body felt hollow, my mind distant. My heart screamed, but my face stayed still. Years of love, laughter, plans, gone in a blink. He muttered something, some useless excuse. I turned away, walked out, down the stairs, through the hall, out the door. The cold air hit me like truth itself. I didn't yell, didn't slam the door, didn't break a thing. I just stood there, staring at the empty street, the silence echoing inside my ribs. It wasn't anger that swallowed me. It was understanding. Every late night she was tired. Every phone call she took in another room. Every time she turned away when I reached for her. It all fit now like a puzzle I'd been too afraid to finish. So I walked. Down the street. No plan. No direction. Just the weight of everything I'd finally seen. My phone buzzed once, twice, her name glowing on the screen. I didn't answer because in that moment I understood something. Love doesn't die in explosions. It withers. Quietly, slowly, under the weight of small, deliberate betrayals. I didn't go home that night. I drove until the gas light came on, parked by a stretch of empty road near the lake, and just sat there. Engine off. Hands still gripping the wheel. Staring at nothing. My reflection in the windshield looked unfamiliar, like a man I'd only just met. I must have sat there for hours, long enough for dawn to break behind the trees. That's when the ache finally hit. Not the sharp sting of betrayal, but the heavy, suffocating disbelief. The kind of pain that doesn't scream. It just settles and stays. By morning, my phone had erupted with messages. 10 from Emma. For missed calls. 1 voicemail I couldn't open. I scrolled through her texts, apologies, explanations, half-truths dressed as confessions. It's not what it looks like. I was confused. Please come home. We can talk. Every word felt like salt pressed into something raw. Around 8 a.m., I finally drove back. The house looked smaller, emptier, like it already knew something inside had died. She was waiting at the door, wrapped in one of my sweatshirts, like that meant something. Her eyes were swollen, her voice shaking. Evan, please, just let me explain. I said nothing. Just looked at her, and she understood. You can't reason your way out of a moment like that. Words don't rebuild trust. She tried again. It didn't mean anything. I made a mistake. My voice came out lower than I expected. You didn't make a mistake, Emma. You made a choice. That stopped her cold. No tears this time. Just silence. And that silence said everything. I packed a small bag, wallet, charger, clothes for a few days. She followed me, talking, crying, reaching for me. I moved around her like she wasn't there. Where are you going? She asked. I don't know, I said. Just not here. The drive to my brother's house felt endless. When I arrived, he didn't ask questions. Just looked at me and said, "Come in." Sometimes silence is the only language that still makes sense. Over the next few days, I replayed everything. The late nights, the distant eyes, the way she scrolled through her phone when she thought I wasn't watching, the girls' trips that never added up. It hadn't started that night. It had just ended there. That was the first time I caught the truth moving in plain sight. I didn't tell anyone, didn't post, didn't rant. I just shut down the parts of me that used to wait for her laugh, her texts, her touch. A week later, she showed up at my brother's place. I saw her car pull in through the window and felt that same stillness wash over me, the calm that comes after you've already lost everything. She looked smaller. Fragile, maybe, but betrayal changes your vision. You stop seeing them as someone who hurt you and start seeing them as someone who could. I can fix this, she whispered. We can start over. I shook my head slowly. You can't fix something you broke on purpose. Her face fell, and that's when she understood it was over. Not because I yelled, not because I punished her, but because I was done, quietly, completely done. When she left, I didn't watch her go. I just sat there, staring at the floor, breathing in the emptiness she'd made. Months passed. I found a small apartment across town. Nothing fancy, but peaceful. I cook for one now. Sleep in a bed that feels too big. The silence doesn't scare me anymore. It feels like freedom. Sometimes I still think about that morning, not with anger, but with clarity. The truth is, I didn't lose her when I opened that bedroom door. I'd lost her long before, in every ignored word, every cold shoulder, every time she looked at her phone instead of me. I used to think marriage was about fighting for each other. Now I know it's also about knowing when the fight's already over. I couldn't find my wife that morning. And maybe that was the point. Sometimes the person you're searching for is already gone. You just haven't opened the right door yet.